Hey everybody, welcome to the third episode of Behind the Lou. I am your host Brendan. I'm joined with Sean and Adam, and today we don't have as much Blues or Cardinal stuff to talk about, but we're going to be talking about the NFL playoffs and how those matchups are going to be that start tomorrow because today is the Saturday before. So we're going to go into that and just what our predictions are for the rest of the way. So Adam, how are you been doing today?
Doing good. Doing good. Getting ready for these fucking games we got going on. I'm actually excited for.
Yeah. How about you, Sean?
I'm in shambles. It's been a rough week for the Blues, but I'm hanging in there strong.
Yeah. So anyway, we're gonna go ahead and get into it like pretty much right away. So Adam's gonna go ahead and take us through this. So I'll go ahead and leave it to Adam.
I really wanted to start looking at, I'm just gonna go in order. NFC championships tomorrow at 3 o'clock my time, so like 2 o'clock for you guys. So I think everybody at the beginning of the season, no, I wouldn't say the beginning of the season, I would say midway. Both these teams kind of made their statement in the NFC, the Eagles and the 49ers. I mean, the 49ers had a lot of speculation throughout the season with, with the issue at the beginning of the season, them starting Trey Lance over Jimmy G, which I kind of see because, Jimmy G's getting an age. He's not really flashing anything. Uh, and then Trey Lance getting hurt and Jimmy G coming back in and kind of taking them, like start running them through to, oh, these guys might be a playoff contender now that Jimmy G's back. And now that everybody was like, oh, Jimmy G's hurt now, Mr. Relevant, aka Glock Purdy, is literally 6-0 as a rookie through the playoffs. I mean, you can't
Wasn't
deny
yeah.
this kid's skill.
I remember a
I
lot of
mean,
talk earlier this year with Jimmy Garoppolo too of him going to like different teams. I forget which teams were actually looking at him though.
there's a lot of teams that are quarterback needy. I mean, you've got now you have the Raiders, my poor Raiders getting rid of Derek Carr. Which I kind of, I've been a Raiders fan my whole life. I most of the time when I was actually being able to old enough to pay attention and know what's going on, Derek Carr has been there, and now that he's gone, I don't really know what the Raiders are going to do
I yeah,
now
and
that
I
they
think
have
he
Devontae Adams. But GBG, and I don't understand because that's another thing about the 49ers. If you go back to the draft where they took Trey Lance, I understand why you took him in a sense, but you know who else was on the board when they drafted Trey Lance at number three? I believe it was number three, was Justin Fields. They took Trey Lance over Justin Fields, which overall, you can't tell yet if it was a worthy pick. Because one, Trey Lance hasn't had barely any playing time, and when he did, he didn't look certainly amazing. Justin Fields, on the other hand, I personally think if you would have put Justin Fields on that team with Debo Samuels, Brandon Ayuk, and if you still traded for CMC, that team would automatically, considering if Justin Fields has the year on the 49ers, if he did for the Bears, I feel like they would easily be okay. These guys are going to the Super Bowl no matter what. But on the other hand, I just don't. The 49ers are such a weird team because a third string quarterback is about to take them to the Super Bowl. And I
Yeah.
fully believe the argument with Brock Purdy not being good just because he's surrounded by all that talent. It doesn't matter. That dude has made it work and he is 6-0. You can't tell me if you look at the stats, yeah, but Debo Samuels also had like 100 something receiving yards his last game. And obviously there's talent there, but he's 6-0 and he's
another
under Kyle
thing, yeah.
Shanahan. So
Big thing with the talent coming in too is the fact that 49ers also got Christian McCaffrey too, and I think of like
exactly.
as a trade, which is I thought was huge, especially because didn't Carolina draft him like as a very high pick? He wasn't he like
Yeah, Carolina drafted him very high, I believe. I don't know. I can't remember. He came out of Stanford,
yeah.
very high talented and he immediately made his mark on the league. But what everybody thought when that trade happened is because the Panthers had him and he was obviously the star for the Panthers, but he was constantly hurt. Like I think it was I don't know if it was 2019 or it might have been 2020. He didn't play at all. I mean, he was hurt all year. He like played like 3 or 4 games. and when he was on the field, he just wasn't himself.
Yeah,
And
that
everybody,
sucks
when
for
that
his
trade
brand.
happened, everyone was like, "Oh, they're trading for an injured McCaffrey. We'll see what he can do." A lot of people had their doubts. I kind of looked into it as like, who knows? All the different coaching staff, different health staff, different trainers. And as it stands, that the 49ers won that trade by a mile because look at what they did with him. I mean, CMC has been tearing it up constantly,
Yeah.
constantly. I mean, he's. I feel like he's back to his old self, and it's nice to look at the. I think the NFC Championship isn't getting talked about enough because obviously it's getting overshadowed by the Chiefs Bengals rivalry, but both these teams are the horses, like the power horses for the NFC, hadn't have been all year. And there hasn't been a whole lot of question for either teams. Because if you do apples to apples comparison, right? Jalen Hurts or Brock Purdy. Obviously, Jalen Hurts has established himself, and a lot of people are going to take Jalen Hurts over just the quarterback position. In the running back position, obviously CMC, because Miles Sanders, he's a solid running back, but Jalen Hurts has been most of the ground game this year. And then both teams have a stud wide receiver one with AJ Brown and Deebo Samuel. Both are phenomenal. Both are probably going to be Hall of Famers. And tight end wise, I mean, you got Dallas Goedert. He's been pretty solid this year. Not really sure who the tight end is for the 49ers now I think about it. I don't have
I can bring that up real quick. I have their players
Yeah,
list.
whoever it is. I mean, he's probably made it. It's just the tight ends for both teams are getting overshadowed by the wide
George
receiver
Kittle,
room.
yeah.
Oh, it's Kittle.
I
My
had
God.
Kittle on my fantasy team. He's the reason why I won from a lot of games.
Kind of just had a brain fart because I was thinking about Travis Kelce, but George Kittle has been that guy.
Dude, he's amazing.
And
It's George Kittle, and then they also
him and
have
Kelce
Tyler
are running the
Kroft,
league
yeah.
for tight ends right now. I mean, and I think the NFC, everybody's talking about the AFC championship game, but I believe the NFC championship game is going to be a bloodbath because you have two of the best defenses in the NFC playing each other, two of the most electric offenses in the league playing each other. And I think it's going to be a bloodbath because on the defensive side of the ball, Fred Warner and Dre Greenlaw has been tearing it up all year. And a lot of people are comparing Fred Warner to when what's his name? It was their 20 no, it was like the early 2000s defense. But I mean, he has like 92 solo tackles, 2 sacks, a forced fumble, and 2 interceptions, I think. But then you also got to add Trey Hufanga, their free safety, has been also tearing it up all year. So this defense is terrifying. You have Jimmy Ward on one of the corners. He's going to be hopefully trying to lock up AJ Brown. I mean, I fully believe this game is going to be a defensive bloodbath because both these defenses are stellar. Darius Slay has been tearing it up all year. I mean, he's back at I wouldn't even say prime stuff. He's been in his prime for God knows how long. James Bradbury has revived his career all of a sudden. He was dying in New York, and all of a sudden he comes in the Eagles and has just been nuts. And then their D line, you got Hassan Reddick tearing it up. And I think he was a Pro Bowl snub because he's been amazing all year on that line. But it comes down to the fact where it's like the defensive side of that ball is going to be a huge, huge, huge factor in that game compared to the
who do you
AFC.
think has the edge in that then?
It's hard to tell.
Because I would think I would go 49ers on defense.
Defensive wise, I'd definitely get 49ers. I mean, you have Defensive Player of the Year, Nick Bosa, aka Ohio State rep on that side of the ball.
I will say
that dude is an animal. I mean, he's Defensive Player of the Year.
The great thing with their coaching too is that they have Shanahan as the coach for them, and he's done really well with the team.
And that's another factor to take in. Kyle Shanahan has been there. He's been to the NFC Championship multiple times. He's been to the playoffs, been to the Super Bowl. Nick Sirianni, the Eagles head coach, this is his first year coaching, and it is his first time in the NFC Championship. I mean, you got to give it to him. He took his team to number 1 seed, first round bye. He's took them through. They mutilated the Giants. After they just put on a show against the Eagles, they mutilated the Giants.
And the one thing I was thinking was the thing I kind of want to give the 49ers the edge for is, do you think like with the Giants and how they played them in the last round, do you think that the Eagles are not really ready to play the 49ers.
And that's a good point, because I wanted to bring back if you look at their schedule, right? They're 14-3. San Francisco's 13-4. San Francisco has played some good teams. The
Yeah.
Eagles really haven't had much competition in their schedule. And I want to
Yeah.
bring back to the 2020 Steelers when they were like 11-0, and then all of a sudden started playing all their they played the Ravens without Lamar. They played the Browns, I think, without Baker Mayfield when he was hurt. So
And
they were just like demolishing all the teams they played. Every team they played was just terrible at the time. Then they get to 2 weeks before the wild card. It's a loss, play the Browns the wild card and get demolished. And I
yeah.
mean, but obviously this is the NFC Championship, so they made it there. I personally don't know if they're ready, because the Giants for the Eagles wasn't a very good warm-up game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That
And
is
honestly, I didn't even like how the 49ers played the Cowboys last week either.
that
I don't
that's a very, because I watched that game and it wasn't it wasn't that offense's like high point. You know what I mean?
no. And the thing is like the Cowboys just choked it away.
Yeah,
I mean,
like
they
I was going to
easily
say,
had
did
an opportunity.
the
What's
49ers
new?
win or the Cowboys throw it away?
What's new?
Yeah, I mean, that seemed like it was just like I was really surprised at how low scoring that game was. I know the Cowboys defense was really good, but I would have never expected it to be like
Right. I mean,
that low, especially in San Francisco. Like,
right.
I was probably I wanted Dallas to win only because I would love a Dallas Eagles NFC championship,
Oh,
but
that would be awesome.
San Francisco was clearly the better team, but it just didn't look like that they were. They just didn't play well, so I don't know what to really expect with this NFC. Just because both teams have like question marks on, like, yeah, you know what their potential is. They're Super Bowl contenders, but when you look at everything, you don't know if they're ready to play each
Right.
other.
And that's a big factor, is who you played to get there. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
exactly.
Hence,
Like,
the 49ers, they've been playing since the first round. They've been
yeah,
moving like a truck. So they
moved
have the momentum.
Seahawks,
Yeah.
moved Dallas, and now they're going to Philly, and Philly just
Yeah.
played Giants because they were the number 1 seed. So I don't know if they are ready, but you could also kind of flip the coin and say, is 49ers exhausted? And we kind of saw it in the Dallas game.
Right. And
So you could look at it in from both ways on who has the advantage, because I really have no idea, because they're so evenly matched to me, to where they have areas where they like I don't know how I could really bet against this game at all.
yeah, it's like the betting on this side, so it's just
So
terrifying.
I pulled it up. They have the favorites just on the straight money line. They have the Eagles as the favorite, -145.
Okay.
And then they have San Francisco at +125. So, I mean, I think I would
that's
take.
crazy though, because they're they're in
I,
Philly for this game.
they are in Philly. I would
Yeah.
take. I think I'd take that 49ers money line.
I
If you're on that, if you're betting, if you want to do me or parlay me, whatever you want to do,
yeah.
I would definitely do the 49ers money line.
Well, if
for
you're talking
sure.
about a parlay, this is because I've been dabbling. This is what I would do. I wouldn't take the money line. It's going to be too close of a game. If you
Yeah.
did take the money line, I'd probably agree with you. Go to the 49ers money line. The over-under of this game is set at 46.5.
Yeah.
I would take the over, because I'm
You
pretty
think it's
sure
gonna go over,
I think it's going to go over, because
even
you gotta
with their
think-
defenses?
Yeah,
the way they are.
yeah, I think it's going to go over.
I
Now,
don't
you could do,
know.
like, obviously,
I
I
kind of
think
disagree.
CMC's going to score. AJ Brown's going to go score, and probably Debo. But you got to think, the Eagles have been averaging it's like 21 points a game or something like that, and they just they're consistently in the double digits.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, it's just like we've been talking about. It's just kind of a hard game to really predict. So I would just do your parlay and
Yeah, it's
just get your first touchdown scorer and stuff like that.
It's really interesting though to see the numbers too of just like their past playoff records too. I mean, they make it this year. last year they lose in the wild card with only a 9-8 record, and then in 2020 they just completely tanked it out, fourth in division it looks like, and then
Hmm.
2019 losing a wild card, but they were first. Year before that in 2018, 9-7 again, losing the division, and then of course in 2017 they have a 13-3 record and win the Super Bowl. This year they have 14-3 record. So I don't know. It's interesting. It's so interesting to see how good Philadelphia's been these past few years because everyone always, at least everyone I surrounded myself with, always tried to talk trash onto them. But I look at these records, I'm like, dude, I would give anything to have a football team with like this amount of
Oh
consistency.
yeah. I mean, taking Jalen Hurts. I mean, that guy, he has been established himself as like the one of the top dogs in the league, and I mean, you can't really deny that he's been amazing. I mean, look what he's done all year, and the fact that the Eagles GM traded for AJ Brown was amazing. He literally threw his sack on the table and was like, "Yeah, I want this guy," and he was like, I mean, look what he's done. AJ Brown is having a stellar season because obviously throughout AJ Brown's career, he's always had Ryan Tannehill, who
Right.
inconsistent in my opinion, and he's not. I don't think he's going to have a starting job next year. And now he's got a stud of a QB, and he's just been that guy. He's top 5 wide receiver in the league right now. But I
Yeah.
personally think I got just overall opinion. I think the 49ers are taking it all away.
To win the Super Bowl, too.
I don't know. I don't.
We'll get to that, but we're gonna talk
Yeah.
about the Super Bowl probably next week, so we'll get to that and like recap everything.
So
But-
As for
overall,
me, I predict 49ers to win today.
yeah.
I would go 49ers as well. I just think I don't know. I don't know if the Eagles are ready, and
I personally,
that worries me.
I just want to see Brock Purdy in the Super Bowl.
And Brock Purdy, he's nuts. So
Yeah, I just want to see him.
I just don't. I mean,
Just put the
Jalen
man
Hurts
on
can
the
still go
biggest
off too,
stage.
but
yeah.
Brock Purdy is going to excel at the big stage,
And Brock Purdy has only had one game, maybe two after the Cowboys game, but he's had one game below 100 passer rating.
He's
It
ridiculous.
was like 94. He's had like a 120, 119, 118. I mean, he's been going nuts. But on the other side of the country, this is
my game. This is my
this-
game.
This is the game.
I
everybody's
love this
talking about.
game. I
12
love
and
it.
4 Bengals going to Arrowhead, aka Burrowhead.
No, it's still Arrowhead.
And that game is going to be, it's a completely different side of football than the 49ers Eagles game. These two teams have been in an underlying rivalry since Burrow has stepped foot in the league.
And I love it.
And it's amazing.
I love it too.
It's just constantly, it's always, talk about Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes, Kelsey, Jamar Chase. I mean, these two teams are the most electric teams in football right now, offensively. I mean, they're both insane with Patrick Mahomes being him and Travis Kelsey. He's in his prime. And Isaiah Pacheco stepping up to the plate and being
Pacheco is
very, very
electric,
good.
dude. He's
He is
so
a
electric.
Very good running back.
He had a very electric game last week. That was really fun.
My thing is, it's like the Chiefs' wide receiver room is terrible. Juju Smith-Schuster is not that good. I mean, he's had a pretty solid season with the Chiefs, but he's only on a 1-year contract. So if he doesn't win the Super Bowl, I wonder if they're going to re-sign him. And you got Marquise Valdez-Scantling and Kadarius Toney, who Kadarius Toney is a very versatile guy, but he's not. I don't know. He's a very hard knock player, and he's that guy you throw into the jet sweeps and the motions to get. He's a very solid, versatile player, almost like in a way of Devo, but not nearly as skilled as Devo. And Valdez-Scantling, I mean, he's a pretty solid wide receiver too. I mean, he's been there for a long. Or no, he came from the Packers, I believe. Yeah, it was the Packers this year. I mean, he's been all right. But I mean, Patrick Mahomes has made it work. He's 14-3, and everybody's still talking about him.
He's so stupid good. And
Yeah.
It's annoying.
Yeah, it's insane. He's just that guy.
You don't need Tyreek at all.
Yeah,
Didn't
no
need him.
Tyreek. You don't
They
have
didn't need him.
Tyreek. You don't have Mecole Hardman like you did.
But it would
You
have.
still have
I think it
Kelsey.
would have been nice if they had him to be.
Oh, it would have
Oh,
been
yeah.
fantastic if they
If
had
they have
Tyreek.
Tyreek,
If they had Tyreek, this is a whole
I'd
different
be
conversation.
yeah, I would have been all over it.
Yeah,
Everybody, when Tyreek got traded to the Dolphins, they were like, "Oh, Tyreek's not going to look as good."
there was,
without him."
the one thing I want to talk about the Chiefs real quick is I consider myself more of a Chiefs fan, but I'm not like full blown because I was a Rams fan before they left, and now I just want to watch football, but it's really hard for me sometimes, and just like because when I go on Kansas City, when I started watching them, that was when like Mahomes kind of first came into the league. And it was like, I feel like a bandwagon, and I don't like that. So I really don't. I don't follow it as much with them. I just watch football as a whole and just root for the players individually. But I think Chiefs are winning this whole thing.
That's where you're wrong.
I think it.
That's where you're wrong, Bubba.
That's where I will shave my head.
That's where you're wrong.
No, if the Chiefs lose this week, I will shave all this hair off. I promise you, I will.
You better get that fucking.
It'll be done next
ready.
week. It'll be next week, and next week you'll not see this hair anymore.
You
if
get ready
they
because
lose.
Joe Cool is going to come into Kansas City, into Burrowhead, and absolutely just drop dimes on that defense.
I don't care if Mahomes has a broken ankle. He'll scramble his ass out.
Joe Shiesty is that guy.
Oh, I love Joe Burrow. I'm
going to quote Pat McAfee here. He is the second coming, and I fully agree with Pat. He is the second coming of Tom Brady. I don't care what anybody says. He is the second version of Tom Brady. I'm telling you, the way he plays, the way he conducts himself, the way he throws the ball downfield and targets everybody. I mean, look who he's got. He's got Jamar Chase and T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd.
He just has such a poise. That's why
he's got the best wide receiver room in football. Joe Mixon and Perrine, however you say his last name. Those two are pretty solid. I mean, Mixon's a great running back, and he's got the tandem with Perrine. I mean, you've got a solid running back too, and his O-line has been improved. That's the only thing that's different from last year's Super Bowl. His O-line got better, and now he lost C.J. Uzomah, which is fine. But Hayden Hurst has been there, and he's been a fairly solid wide receiver, tight end. That defense, I mean, not much has changed because now you actually lost something. Because Wouzier, one of your upcoming corners, are not playing because they've been hurt. Eli Apple, he had a pretty good game against the Bills, locking up Stephon Diggs to 20 yards or something like that with 2 receptions.
So why don't you like the Chiefs, though?
Because I'm a Raiders fan. How do I like the Chiefs?
No, I get that, but why don't you like the Chiefs in this matchup? I get it, but they're in Arrowhead.
It is Joe Cool. It doesn't matter.
Honestly,
I completely get it, but it's also Patrick Mahomes.
They play in Arrowhead. Yeah, they play in Arrowhead. That's an advantage. But they just played in Buffalo against the Bills and wiped the floor with them.
Yeah, but that was a bad game.
Not only that, but
was it a bad game?
That was a bad. Not for the Bills. I mean, not for Bengals. I'm just saying that game was just bad.
It was snowing, whatever, but it doesn't matter because everybody was like, "Oh, it's snowing. It's going to be a running game." Joe Burrow still threw 2 touchdowns.
I don't think you're understanding like how big of a deal it is, or like how impactful Mahomes is going to be on one leg. Like I really think it's not going to work out.
I get that argument. But I haven't read any of the reports. Has anyone read any reports on how his leg is?
His leg's fine.
Yeah, so he's fine. Yeah, he's fine. So if he had, that I was worried about that going into the week, like early on, was will his leg be okay to play? Because I mean his athleticism and the way he scrambles is just that's him. That's who Patrick Mahomes is. That's why he's successful. If he does not have that, then I don't think he has a chance. But if anyone's going to come over that, it's going to be Patrick Mahomes. He's just one of these guys who will overcome anything like that. And honestly, and also you have to think last year, do you not think I don't see Mahomes losing this game. I just don't. I don't see it happening. Especially after what happened last year.
We've had this conversation last year.
Last year we wanted Bengals to win.
3-1 against the Chiefs, if I'm not wrong.
Hang on, I can bring up that records real quick.
I think it's 3-1.
3-1. But it's Joe Cool, baby. That's all it is.
I love Joe Burrow. I mean, he's a fun guy to watch, and he's
yeah.
electric.
And
it's
they
just
Chiefs
what
lost
I-
to them earlier this year during week 13. It was see what it was, the score on it. But that was way back in week 13.
but whoever wins this game to me is the Super Bowl champion. I think the NFC doesn't have a chance against either of these teams, especially if the Bengals get in. I don't think they have a chance.
I mean, I love the Bengals. I mean, they're such every game. It's such a fun team to watch.
Yeah.
I will say, I'm looking at the record from week 13, and, Kansas City had the upper hand on the Bengals until the fourth quarter, where Bengals just shut Kansas City down and scored 10 points. Then to me, that's the impressive thing. If they can I firmly believe that the Bengals will win against Kansas City, just because I know that they can defensively stop Mahomes a lot, especially with this week 13 and fourth quarter stoppage, and still able to get 10 points off. It's very plausible. And, the Bengals are building a franchise now for the past 3 to 4 years where they are competitive enough to challenge Mahomes. And this is Mahomes', I think, first actual, in-team, or what's the word that I'm looking for?
Rival?
Actual rival to have throughout the year. These upcoming years, and maybe throughout the rest of his career, honestly.
I mean, I'm telling you, this is going to be the most fun football game we've watched all year. Is these two?
It's gonna be fun. No matter what happens, even though I want Chiefs to win, just because that's my pick. I love this matchup.
What was probably the best game I've watched in a long time was that I think it was 2 or 3 years ago when it was Kansas City against the Rams. Do you remember that game?
Yeah, that was when Jared Goff took them to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, that was
such a good game too.
Wild, because everyone was like, "This is the Super Bowl game."
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't think that. Yeah, because they both made it to the Super Bowl, and the Chiefs killed them.
I think so.
It was like 28-3
and then,
or something like that.
And then they traded Goff for
Matt Staff.
Yeah, that was
took him to the Super Bowl.
So, so Adam, I'm just gonna try to clarify. You think it's going to be Bengals 49ers for the Super Bowl?
That is the best possible outcome. Honestly, for the NFC, both teams can win, and I'll be fine with it. But I want to see Joe Cool win a Super Bowl.
I would love to see that too. If let's say, like I said, even though I want the Chiefs to win, if they do lose, I will definitely be rooting for Joe Burrow because he deserves a ring, and he has completely changed the Bengals franchise. It's on its head. I mean, he's just an incredible talent. So I would definitely love to see that.
He completely flipped that franchise where
it was incredible.
And then you go out, he was like, I want my college wide receiver. I want Jamar Chase, who played with me at LSU with Justin Jefferson.
Right.
And the Bengals had no problem
with
the
LSU team, by the way. Just talk about that. Oh my God. That was ridiculous.
Joe Burrow, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. It was Thaddeus.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire is amazing too. I loved him.
It would really suck. It would really suck if it's Chiefs 49ers actually, because that's just a rematch of the 2020 Super Bowl.
Yeah, I don't want to.
And that's just kind of boring. That game wasn't that great. Actually, it was.
Let's look at I want to look at the stat lines or
look at that box score.
I want to look at the I want to see what the betting side of the Bengals.
Oh, I had it pulled up. It's actually very interesting.
Bengals are the favorite, Bengals are the underdogs.
Bengals are the underdog, which that is strange to me because wasn't it earlier in the week that they were considered the favorite? Something happened.
I don't remember.
I thought I saw that I don't know how they're not the favorite though, on betting odds, because almost at that point, I would probably take that Bengals money line because I mean that's easy money if that works out. I mean it's plus 100, and it's why Patrick Mahomes literally hurt his ankle was bad. I mean I don't know how he continued.
Dude, that last game was rough.
I don't know how he continued, and it was I don't know why with the tools that Joe Burrow has that Mahomes doesn't, just with their wide receiver core, it's night and day. I guess they don't the only thing I can think of is maybe they don't like the Bengals O-line, which I kind of agree, but I don't think that's really going to hinder anything. especially when you just look at their overall team. I think that Bengals team is going to be they're going to win multiple rings in these next like 10 years for sure.
Oh yeah, Burrow's definitely gonna get a ring. I mean,
Oh yeah, he is, but I'm
he's
saying that
definitely
they're
get a
gonna
ring.
they're gonna be like a dynasty level, like almost like I don't know what to really compare them to, but
And I
I
love
think
this.
that will be
I
a
love this
dynasty too.
age of just the transition period of the NFL.
I love it too.
We for a long time we had Drew Brees, Phillip Rivers, Eli Manning, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady,
Aaron
Ben
Rodgers.
Roethlisberger, Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
And those were the and Matt Ryan. At the time, those were the guys. Those were the future. Those were the what like 20 years ago when they came into the league. That was the future. And
now you got Mahomes,
we got
Burrow,
Burrow,
Lawrence,
Herbert, Lawrence, I'm gonna say Daniel Jones because
did you say
impressed
Jalen
when he
Hurts
said-
already?
I was about to say Jalen Hurts. Let's see, you've got.
What's the
just all
Seahawks guy's name? Geno Smith.
Geno Smith, but he's been in the league for years.
Yeah, but he's still
I mean,
younger.
you have all this talent in the league now, and they're starting to blossom, and it's dope to see. I mean, it's crazy because now we're here for the few in 20 years or like 10 years from now when these guys have 2-3 rings for each of them. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody's ever going to touch Tom Brady when it comes to rings, but I hope somebody.
I don't think so. That Patriots dynasty was just unbelievable.
That is,
we'll never see a team like that again. I don't
never. And it's crazy because all these teams now are starting to build themselves like that dynasty.
Yeah, and it's fun to watch because they've completely changed the game.
Like
the last 20 years, it's just completely different.
I mean,
it's
wild. Actually, I'm gonna build a parlay. I'm gonna put it on the podcast. I'm taking over 48.5 points. I'm gonna think Jamar and Kelsey are going to be an anytime touchdown scorer. I'm gonna take where's that? Player passing TDs, Burrow over 1.5. Player passing yards, Burrow over 277.5. I'm putting all this money on Burrow.
He's betting the farm.
Player receiving yards.
I can't
Jamar
believe
Chase.
that. I can't believe that the Bengals are considered underdogs. I really can't believe that. I know they're an Arrowhead, but I'm still shocked by that. I thought it was mainly Chiefs that were considered the underdogs this time, or just more evenly matched. There wasn't really no underdog.
I got a free $10 bet. This is what I was doing. I'm taking over 48.5 total match. Jamar Chase, Kelsey, anytime touchdown scorer. Burrow to throw for over 1.5 passing touchdowns. Burrow over 277.5 passing yards. Jamar Chase over 83.5 receiving, and Kelsey over 77.5 receiving. I'm taking that. I got a good feeling about that. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys. This is off topic from the NFL. I put a bet yesterday. I just started doing NBA bets for fun.
Oh, jeez.
Just for fun. Listen.
Oh, God. Who did you bet on yesterday?
The Warriors and the Raptors. I put $5 down just to guess the correct score. I guessed the score was going to be 127 to 119. And I was like, and I looked because I'd made that guess because they already played each other, and it was kind of close to that. I was like, I'll go with it, whatever. Guess what the final score was?
127.
Final score.
129, 117. 2 points, one.
What would you have won?
Each side. I think it was like $2,000 off of $5.
Oh man.
Yeah, I shit myself. I was so bad. I didn't.
Did you watch the game when you noticed it?
No, I checked it this morning because the game didn't come on till like 10:30 my time. So I went to bed and I saw it. I was like, oh, I forgot. Let's see if I won. And I looked at the score and almost threw up. I was so mad at myself.
Oh man.
I feel bad for the people in Missouri listening to this because I'm from Ohio. Gambling or sports betting is legal now.
Yeah, and the problem with us is that like we had, for us to gamble, we just have to go across the river.
That's how
Illinois allowed it.
I
thought about going to the Casino Queen, but it's in East St. Louis, so I don't know if I would go. But
I'd go with you, Brennan. I'd be fine with it.
Go up there and just lay down some bets. Sean, take me up there. I will lay down I'll lay down some money on Patrick Mahomes tonight.
That's
Or tomorrow night. Sorry,
this is a good transition because talking about betting for both of you, if you were to put money on any MLB team to win the World Series this year,
we talked about this last time.
did we?
Or one
Didn't
time.
you say Astros?
I said Astros because
I said
that team
Toronto.
is just. Let me pull up their rotation. I want you to hear this Astros starting rotation real quick.
While he's doing that,
Pull up
I said Toronto
Fangraphs.
Blue Jays. I think is my World Series
Okay.
winner that I would like to see.
I'm going Pittsburgh Pirates, boy.
Dude,
Kidding.
shut up. That's not gonna fucking happen.
It'll never happen. I'll probably
it'll
be
never happen.
in my grave in the next year. The Pirates are going to have a World Series.
Oh, let's see. Just going into the Astros in general. There's no team in the American League that is even coming close to what the Astros have. There's just none. I think the only team that could eventually beat them, I think the Yankees technically can, but they've shown that they can't. So I don't know. I think I would still take Astros in that series just because their offensive power, Jeremy Pena, Yordan Alvarez, and Kyle Tucker, guys like that. And this rotation, I'm not even going to talk about the bullpen right now. This is just strictly the rotation. So they have in their rotation set up. They have Justin. Oh, no, that's last year. What the hell?
Just saying.
The Framber Valdez, Christian Javier, Luis Garcia, and Rafael Montero and Hector Neris. I think that's how you say his name. No idea. And just other in their bullpen, they have Lance McCullers still. They got Phil Maton. That dude is gross in postseason. They did sign Jake Odorizzi. Oh no, I'm an idiot. Never mind. I don't know what I'm talking about. They traded Jake Odorizzi last year.
Brennan, our
So-
baseball guy, not knowing what he's talking
well,
about.
it's just like I'm reading the fan graphs and I saw Jake Odorizzi. I'm like, wait, what? He did go back to Texas. He went for the Rangers though, this offseason.
Oh.
So the Braves traded him, but the Astros just got Jose Abreu. They just
Oh,
won
yeah.
the
I
World
forgot
Series and
about
they got
that.
Jose Abreu.
I
Like
forgot
my
about
God, dude, this team is nuts, and it's just like their bullpen is just ridiculous. Let's see how their stats are compared. League stats. I hate Fangraphs. This shit's so annoying.
that.
Just
but-
read it, Brennan. Come on.
Just to pull up the whole thing, like it's just annoying to read.
While you're pulling that up, do you want to talk about who the Cardinals got?
Oh, the minor league pitcher. I
Yeah,
have
the
no.
minor league
I have
pitcher.
nothing
There's
really to
nothing else
say.
really- yeah.
I mean, he's just a depth piece. I'm not bad. I don't know anything about him, to be completely honest. I didn't really look into him, but it's a minor league contract. It can't hurt you. And these fans who are complaining about it, it's like it's a minor league contract. It's not going to change anything. I think most people saw, because his name was like Andrew something. Forgive me, I don't know his last name off the top of my head, but there's Andrew Chafin still out there, and some fans really would like him. I would like him too, but I don't think it's going to happen. For the Cardinals overall, to get into them, I am completely okay with this roster so far. I really am. I love this team right now. I love the offensive power of this team. And I want Jordan Walker to be up here after spring training. I know he has to prove himself, but I think he will definitely do it. That dude's an animal.
So can they bring him up to the major league roster right after spring training?
Yeah, so he's with the WBC going on. Oh, you'll have like a lot of these young guys that we got. You'll see a lot of Mason Wynn. You'll see some Tink Hence throwing in spring. You'll see Jordan Walker getting probably the most at bats out of all of them. Because they got non-roster invites, so they're not on the 40-man to be. So they're not considered on the 40-man, so they don't have to. They're just on the team right now for the spring training, and they play against major league pitching and other the major league teams. So they with the WBC right now, guys like Nolan, Goldschmidt, Nootbaar, Edman, they're all gone to the WBC. They're all playing that. I don't know if Tyler O'Neill probably is, and I think he's staying in spring. So you have Jordan Walker has plenty of opportunity to play all the time and to prove to them that he is ready to go make the jump from AA to MLB. And I'm not going to try to put too much on him. If he comes out and rakes, I mean, you probably won't have another choice. But the other problem with that is if Tyler O'Neill, Dylan Carlson, and Lars Nootbaar like make improvements, especially Tyler O'Neill and Carlson, if they make improvements from last year, who's going to lose the spot if Walker is nuts?
Right. That's what my next question is like.
There's no one to really lose the spot, and I don't know what they're going to do. I mean, that's honestly, it probably wouldn't hurt. I hate service manipulation time, by the way. I'm not trying to advocate for this, but if you can get an extra year to Jordan Walker, you do it.
Oh yeah.
If you need it, but if you need him up on your team, and they will do it. I don't think they're looking at it that way. I don't think they're looking to try to manipulate time or anything like that. But because the Cardinals in their past have never done that, like the Pirates have with Jack Sawinski and O'Neal Cruz. What they did to O'Neal Cruz last year was disgusting.
Yeah.
Anyway,
what they did to Jack Sawinski this year was disgusting.
But anyway, yeah, I'm not against if he started in AAA. You know, I mean, making that jump from AA to MLB is a jump that not many people do. I mean, Juan Soto and Michael Harris are the two that come to mind that did that. And those two are pretty much superstars at this point, especially Soto. And Michael Harris just won Rookie of the Year. But a lot of people think Jordan Walker is the next big thing. Like, he's the next superstar of this game. And I'm excited to see it. He's such a humble dude. Like, just if you listen to interviews of him, he's just so happy to be in the position he's in. He's like the perfect player to build around for many years to come. So it'll be really exciting to see him.
How old is he?
He's 20 years old. And
I'm older than him.
Yeah. The dude's a monster. Do you guys know his AA stats? I can pull those up. Those are actually kind of insane. Let's see. I'm gonna go just pretty basic here. It's just basic numbers. He had 461 at bats in 2022. I don't know if this is including his time in Peoria or if this is or Palm Beach. I don't know if this is that and AA or just AA. It just says 2022 stats. So I'm guessing it's both combined. So in 461 at bats, he had 19 home runs, 68 RBIs, 22 stolen bases, 306 average, a 388 on base percentage, and an 898 OPS.
Jesus.
Is that good?
That's really good.
It's very good. Very good.
He slugged 510.
Jesus.
That's just ridiculous. This dude's a monster. And the thing is he has speed too. So he's almost
I was gonna say he's got how many stolen bases you had? 22?
22. He can be a 30-20 guy. I don't see it. I don't know how fast he really is. I don't know his sprint speed just off the top of my head or anything. But I'm sure I can find it if I try to look for it. But he can be like a 30-20 guy if he is on base a lot, which it looks like with his on base percentage being 388, he should be, but he might be hitting home runs anyway, so it doesn't even really matter.
Either or don't matter as long as he's scoring.
He's going to be a massive part of this team for the next 15 years. But people are talking about him. This guy has the potential to be the next superstar the Cardinals have developed since Albert Pujols.
Yeah, dude, it's gonna be wild to see.
I don't think he'll put up Albert Pujols numbers just because that I would love for him to, but you're not gonna. It's 700 home runs is not a thing that will happen again.
I also want to confirm that Brendan is shaving his head if the Chiefs lose Sunday night.
Yes, I will shave my head if the Chiefs lose.
Yeah.
Can you at least shave it to a mullet first and send a picture to me? And
shave it to a mullet?
Yeah. I'd love
I don't
that.
know if okay, let me change. I won't shave my head, but I'll cut it'll be really short. It'll be really short. I mean really short.
Now he's poosing out.
Okay, fine. I'll shave my head. I'll shave.
Yeah.
I'll
Damn
shave
straight.
Yeah, I'll have Katie do it. She'll probably kill me.
Yeah. You'll grow it out. We'll grow it out.
I'll grow out pretty quickly, and then our engagement photos aren't till April. So that's plenty of time.
That's like
Oh,
3
yeah.
months. You go full buzz. Yeah, you'll have enough time. That's about like even to what your usual short haircuts are.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because this hair growth, like the last time you got a haircut, when was it?
Like over a year ago. I hate getting my hair cut. I hate it.
Why?
I really do. I don't know. I just hate it. And like I've tried different places and I don't like it. But now I was like, I wanted to have like a flow going, and now it's just I don't like it either.
Now it's
So
just
I
a
don't know what I'm
mop.
gonna do. Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do. But anyway, I am going to probably I'm just gonna shave it off whenever they lose because I think they probably will.
I mean, like if you're gonna go like full buzz, you could just like bring it down to like a 4, if anything, all around.
Yeah.
That way you're for sure getting your hair back for your engagement.
No, I want it razor shaved. I want Brendan to look like
No.
Mr. Clean.
Just bald.
I'm not doing that. So, moving on from that, back to the Jordan Walker thing, just real quick. He has been put on MLB pipeline as the number 4 prospect in all of baseball. So, that doesn't tell you much about this guy. I hope that does. He's just a insane player. If you don't know much about him, make sure you watch Spring Trading because this dude is, and like watch some interviews of him. He's the nicest guy I've ever seen. And at his age, and how mature he is. So he'll be really exciting to watch. I'm super pumped to see that. But the last topic I want to go into, and I'll let Sean rant because this is his time to shine for the Blues and how awful they have been.
Just say I
For
saw
the
the scores
last-
lately.
They have not won a game since their last episode. They have not won one.
They're playing
You
Colorado.
know who they played
Yeah.
Colorado today, which, to be completely honest, if this is what's going to happen, because this is how the Blue season goes, we will win that game by a blowout.
No, I don't think we will.
I think we will.
I can
I
see
think
us
we will.
losing out. So you have Thomas, who's now day-to-day because he took a slap shot to his groin, and the fact that it's day-to-day, I'm assuming he ruptured something. And then, yeah, it's a rough go-around when you think about it all. And there's some great quotes that came out of it. Like apparently, if you're listening to the radio side, Tarasenko got into a yelling match with Berube on the bench about stuff
really?
going on.
I
Yeah,
didn't
which
even
was
see
really
that.
crazy to read about, and that kind of hammers home in my mind the fact that as
Welcome,
much as that, yeah, as much
welcome, welcome,
Go
Vladdy to the New York Islanders.
I wouldn't. No, he wouldn't go to the
That though,
Islanders.
they already showed interest.
They might have shown interest, but if he was to go
That's why I
anywhere,
think he goes. That's why I think he goes.
yeah, if he were to go anywhere, I would assume it would either be like one of the major markets of like Vegas, Rangers,
Oh, if he's a Vegas dude, I'd be
maybe
so
New
upset.
Jersey. New Jersey could definitely use him too, but
I would like him in Jersey.
yeah, it just sucks to see because I would prefer to have, as we stated before, I prefer to have him over O'Reilly. But then Jeremy Rutherford released this amazing interview with Ryan O'Reilly where he talked to them about staying and whatnot. And Ryan O'Reilly's like, I want to be here. I don't want to go anywhere, but I understand that I have a contract that's set up to where I can be moved anywhere. And all around, just like the defensive play around the team is just no energy. The veterans aren't stepping up, and if things were to really go south to where we need a full retool or anything, players will be moved, coaching staff and management will not. And I can tell you that right now because I trust, Doug Armstrong has shown trust in Craig Berube to where he's like, you guys, Berube is the guy who brought up players like Sammy Blaze in 2019, Vince Dunn, and like a lot of depth around there too. Even like I think maybe even Ivan. Oh, no, I think Ivan Barbaship came from KHL training and whatnot. But anyways, I digress with it. It's just like there's no one else I'd rather trust. And Berube's proving to be one of the best Blues coaches of all time. I mean, he's third all time now in games coached, and it's not too far off from Ken Hitchcock and Joel Quenneville. And there's no one else I would rather trust. Another thing to hammer on real quick with the Blues too is to kind of go on top of what Brendan was talking about with prospects and whatnot. Blues prospect is now ranked 17th. The number one prospect that we have is Adam's new favorite player. That name is awesome, Jimmy Snuggerud.
Oh yes, Snuggerud. Yeah,
He's playing
I
in
was like, what are you
University.
talking
Yeah,
about?
he's playing in University of Minnesota right now and lighting it up right there. And he was at World Juniors and still doing really good.
I just have three
So
words for the
bad.
Blues. That's all my rant consists of. 3 words. Tank for Bedard.
Or just like
Please.
take a
Just
take a high
lose
pick.
every game. I don't care. Put no one on the ice. Just get Bedard.
Good
I
old,
really don't
Joe
care.
Nolan.
I will root for losing. If you please just promise me you could get into the lottery and hopefully get number 1 to get Bedard. I want him on this team. He would completely move this team forward. I'm worried though about if Doug Armstrong's actually going to try to fix this team. Is he going to try to, or is he going to? You want that?
I want him to fix
the
this
rebuild
team.
will be worse if it doesn't work out.
But it's not a rebuild that you need.
It
Like,
is
I'm
a
not saying-
rebuild if it.
You don't need to
if
tear
this
it
doesn't work
down.
out.
That's the thing.
I think you tear it down. You tear it down and you get Bedard in here, and then Kyrou, Thomas, Bedard. Imagine that. That's an insane 3.
The draft lottery odds are so crazy with the NHL. I don't know if you guys know how this works. So pretty much, if you're in the NHL, you have this thing. We have our draft lottery where if you finish like 16th outside of the playoffs, you have a you have a 0.5% chance of getting first overall. But if you finish last in the league, you have an 18.5% chance.
What?
Do you guys not know about this? I can explain.
Yeah, that's how the NBA lottery works.
Okay.
Well, MLB just introduced the lottery, so I haven't been familiar with much of the lottery systems at all. So
Yeah.
With the MLB one, if you're like the last place team, you have a really, really high chance of getting it. Like the Pirates weren't even the worst team last year, but they still got the number 1 pick.
Yeah, son.
Yeah. So that's how it works too with the NHL. Is like so Chicago right now is the worst team in the league, and they have an 18.5% chance of getting the first overall. Anaheim has a 13.5% chance, and Columbus has an 11.5% chance. After that, it goes down by another 2% to Arizona for 9.5, and then it goes down a 1% until I think that's the 10th overall. Then it goes to 6, and then 0.5s.
But do you think this year? Do you think this year might be better just to try to go for that, like go for that chance and try to go for a chance in the playoffs?
So now,
because I mean, look at your draft class. You have Connor Bedard in there.
It's I know you have Connor Bedard. You have there's this Russian dude that I know of too. Let me bring up his name because he's really good too. I gotta try and find it. But no, I would much rather see us make playoffs and take the, mid 10 to 20s pick over a top 10 right now because it's harder to get so it showed the Blues at 500 and we only have a 3% chance of getting first overall, but after that it's just 10. You can either get like 10th or 11th or 12th, and that's assuming someone behind you doesn't jump in front of you in draft odds. So for example, let's say just for right now, it shows New York Islanders right behind us at 2.5%. Let's say they get one of the top 3 picks. That moves us back down another, that slides us down in choosing a draft order too. So I'm not a fan of that. The big prospects that are going around is Connor Bedard, Adam Fantilli, and the big Russian dude that I'm high on is right winger Matvei Michkov, who's pretty good. Right now, it has us predicted with the 10th overall to be choosing Andrew Crystal. He's a left winger. Jesus. It's funny to see the years that everyone was born because it just shows them all from 2005 right now or 2004. Just oh God. No, I would much rather prefer that the Blues try and make playoffs over tanking.
Yeah, I mean, you want a team to make the playoffs, but when you look at what this draft class is, just with Bedard specifically, I think you got to go for it, especially when this team's not good enough, because you're just going to get eliminated in the first round. That's what's going to happen. I mean, this isn't the 2019 team. It's not the 2019 team. And I think some people would think it could still happen. I mean, technically, if you go into the playoffs, anything can happen. We've seen that, but it's just this team's not built that way. Bennington is not the same, and
no,
I mean, you just don't have any.
Big
you don't have good forward depth. Your defense sucks. It's just there's nothing to look forward to right now besides Kyrou and Thomas.
Yeah, and the 5-on-5 defensive. I sent you the screenshot, Brennan. The
It's
middle of the
terrible.
ice is just open for anyone to score on Bennington, which is why the numbers are terrible on him.
Yeah.
I don't know. At the end of the day, someone has to make a save, someone has to make the defensive play, and someone has to score. And right now, we got none of it right now. So hopefully
Yeah.
next week, whenever we talk about Blues and everything else, it's a lot more positives coming away from it. But
I hope
after-
so.
It's gonna be
but-
a while. Like after the All-Star break, you hopefully get back a lot of your defensive core, and Ryan O'Reilly will be back. But I don't see him having these 10 games, going on a 10-game winning streak with the Blues to get like push us into playoffs.
Yeah. But anyway, that concludes our third episode of Behind the Lou. Next week we will be talking about the Super Bowl, and then we'll probably do some more spring training stuff because that'll be coming up. Next week it will be 2 weeks on that Tuesday, then when pitchers and catchers report. So we'll probably go over the Cardinals rotation and just see how that goes and just see how everything is. And if anything else comes up, we'll obviously cover that too. But right now, we're just kind of waiting for everything. So I know this is a little bit different than what we were normally going to do, but we thought we had fun with it. So hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you guys next week.
Peace.